Okay, now continuing related to the SQL Server agent, the workflow of SQL Server agent. So, SQL Server, this is nothing but just like how our coordinate scheduler. Okay, this scheduler, which is a hosted service, or we can say worker service. So, this is worker service. Here first step it is doing is step 1 is fetching list of jobs to run at a given time. Okay, after fetching list of jobs, then what it do? It step 2 is for each job it is inserting job activity. Okay, after inserting job activity, after inserting into job activity table, then what it is doing, it is there is one queue is there. Okay, this is the queue which store list of job activities or job instance which need to run. So it is insert in this queue. So the queue will discuss later what is the how it is working, either based on the priority or first in first out or parallel or concurrent. All these scenarios will discuss the SQL Server agent queue. But after creating the job activity, it insert the job in the SQL Server agent queue. Then whenever it is remove or dequeue from this SQL queue, agent queue, now this job actual execution start. So in actual execution of the job is what? Okay, first in the actual execution, step 1 is first it fetch what are steps need to do to complete this activity. Then after fetching all steps, now it is executing each step sequentially. So for each these are the steps already it is fetched based on the job ID from the job step table. Then after getting list of steps, after getting the list of steps, now for each step it is processing. Okay, so before processing each step, what it is doing, it is inserting one row, it is inserting one row in job history table. So job history table will be there. It helpful to track what are the activities, what are the steps done by this activity. So when we need to monitor or check the workflow, so At that time we can just refer the job history table by filtering the job activity. Job activity is nothing but the one instance which is run by the scheduler at one time. So whenever one instance is run for the job by the scheduler is nothing but the job activity. So for each job activity we have multiple steps. For each steps what it is doing will be tracked on job history table. After inserting one row in job history table, then actual processing of that step is happening. Here actual processing means core logic of the step. Core logic of step. So what is the core logic which is there in for the respective step? Here it is processing. Then after it update the status in job history for the respective step. So for this step I will explain later in the job step uh, when it is running, what is the status, those all things will be do. So this for loop will complete execution of the step. Okay, after completion of all step, now activity is completed. Then finally for loop where step in steps, here core step logic is there. Core step logic here updating, inserting one row in job history, here updating the same row, what is the status. Finally for each step like that it is happening. Finally after completion of the step, now updating in job activity table, what is the status of this job instance. Okay, this is the overall workflow. So now this is the heart where each step it is doing. Okay, in this heart if we need to here job history row insertion, heart logic of the step it is doing. So after doing whatever we need to log what is the result, then we go to the job log table. There we are inserting the log of the respective job step. Okay, then this is internally doing log insertion. Then note here job log table is mapped with job step, not with what, not with job activity. That means for each job step there is only one row only there for job log. So always current running job, whatever current running job activity is there, for that job activity only we are inserting the job log, not for all tracking. For in order to track we need to go to the create our separate trigger or some way we need to create separate table or trigger. But here for active job activity and the active step it is inserting or updating. Then after completion of this step again we have one step is there, it is related to job step table only. One flow is that we are updating the job step status. Okay, we are updating job step table. Already we have job step table is there. In that name is there, ID unique identifier name is there, and what are the configuration. But other than configuration, it contain when last invoke this step, irrespective of which job activity, and what is the status of last invocation step, how much duration it taken last time. So these things which used by internally for maybe some performance purpose, that if job step is not working for the previous job activity, then for the current job activity also it compare that if it is not work with previous job activity and the current activity also it is not working for the respective job step, then it may take certain decision based on the comparison like that. But it is internally used for the, let's say, job processor. Let us take these all things are execution done by the job processor. Okay, now you understood what is overall workflow. Later we will discuss from the table design point of view what is, already we covered table design, but for each column what it do in the respective table. So we will discuss each column. So then just one time I am reviewing. Step 1 is fetching the job ID, then creating the instance of job activity. There some fields of job activity is updated. After that, inserting in SQL Server agent queue. Then from that queue, after pulling from queue, now getting the metadata for job ID, then getting steps of job ID. Now for each job ID, for each step it got executed. Before execution of the step, it insert one row in job history to track. After processing that step, computing that step, now updating that job history row for the respective job activity and respective job step. And finally, after completion of the all step, updating job activity. Okay, this is the overall workflow.